Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dishing with Stephanie's Dish, the podcast where we talk to cool people in the food space. And today I'm talking to my friend Alex Lodner. And Alex is someone that I feel like I owe a public thank you to. She would fill in on my radio show a lot in the times when I started going to the cabin quite a bit more and started the garden. And I have become friends with Alex over the years. And Alex is also someone that whenever we think of the Minnesota State Fair, she is someone that comes to mind. She's a fair aficionado. She really
Okay,
has
I'll
done
take
a
that.
lot to help with the Fair Foundation. And I just am loving to geek out with a fellow friend that loves the Minnesota State Fair. Thanks for coming on the program, Alex.
Anytime, of course. My favorite subject. You knew that. You knew that when you
I
got me.
did. I did. So let's talk a little bit about your love of the fair and how it all started.
Yeah, so the fair is kind of a crazy thing, right? It's this insane time for 12 days. I always say that I suspend my entire personality during those 12 days because I don't like crowds. I don't like fried foods, barn animals. All those things are not something that I normally seek out. And it just, those 12 days are just magic. You just lean in. And if you do it right, I think an amazing experience. I hear a lot from people who go once a year with their, family of five, and they can't understand why I go an average of 8 times. And I always tell them it's a completely different experience. When you go multiple times, you're not trying to fit everything into one day. You find your secret rest spots. You find your favorite foods that are maybe a little bit off the beaten path. We always had our secret little spaces where we put our blanket down and let the toddler run around. And so it's a very different experience when you go multiple times.
Yeah, I think so too. There was a couple of years where Steph, my radio partner on Weekly Dish, and I recorded a podcast, and we would meet out there every day and record the
Hmm.
podcast. We got a lot of cool behind the scenes stories, and just the pace feels different. The
Yeah,
fair
for
is
sure.
it's like a mini city that happens for 12 days in our
Yeah.
state. The rest of the state, believe it or not, sort of comes to a silent pause.
Hmm.
It has its own police force. It
Yeah.
has people that sleep out there for weeks. It
Hmm.
really is just like this weird microcosm of something that only happens once a year in our state, and it's actually pretty joyful.
Exactly. And I used to live a mile away. And so when my daughter was little, there'd be a little parade of strollers of us going back and forth from the fair. We'd go back to the house for a nap. We'd go back to the fair. And so it really, again, when you're right there, it's a very different experience. And the only thing I would say is do not try to go to the Target Roseville during the 12 days of the fair. It empties out. There's no produce. But other than that, it was always so fun to live in that neighborhood. You're just in the thick of it. It's quite a high.
Yeah, yeah. When we think about the fair, one thing that people talk about a lot, and I feel like I just want to address up front,
Mm.
is expense,
Mhm.
particularly in a year where people aren't feeling flush with cash.
Yeah.
It is an expense. It is an expense to go with your family of 4 or 5. Tickets are, I think, $20 unless you've bought them in
At the door, yeah.
advance.
Mhm.
And, food is gonna be expensive because we've seen food costs go up 33% in the last 2 years.
Correct. Correct.
There is a large minimum wage in our state. So, yeah, it isn't necessarily a value proposition. There are good values to be had,
Mhm.
and there are deals to be had. The Blue Ribbon book is probably the best, thing to
Fantastic
do.
deal. Mhm.
You get, like, a lot of discounts, there's 2 for 1s, and
Yeah.
just going on the right days, like, if you're
Mhm.
going on senior day or kids' day. So, without not I don't wanna belabor the costs of the fair because I don't it
But it's
ruins
a
the
thing.
experience, but it is a
It's a
thing.
definite factor. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And again, I say we used to go every day. I understand that that's not an easy task for most. It's because we live so close. There's a cost of parking. There's a cost of just driving there from Elk River or wherever you're coming from. I have talked to the marketing department off and on the years about doing a punch card or a passport of some sort, but it's just never really gone through.
Yeah, it's a great idea because I think it feels like since COVID, the
Hmm.
fair has become even more wild because people couldn't go for the COVID times.
Yeah.
And so now it's like people realize what a treasure it is and they don't want to miss it. When you plan your state fair, and are you planning yours already for this year?
Stuff.
I'm just
Did you
asking.
really just ask me that? I'm offended. I'm offended. Yes, I'm
I
planning the
just,
state fair this year. Well, so here's a side note. I've actually, other than covering the fair for, I don't know, almost 20 years, I've also worked off and on for some vendors there. And this year I'm working for a vendor there. She'll go unnamed, but I'm working for a vendor there. A friend of mine owns a new vendor. So I'm going to be there 7 shifts, I think.
oh gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to tell
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
off air because I'll make
I
sure to
will.
pop
I
by
will.
and see you.
Yes.
I, over the years, so once we stopped doing the podcast,
Mm,
I I started doing the garden. And unfortunately for me, garden season in Ely is the end of August and the first week of
mm-hmm.
September. So I basically front load all my fair experiences. I'll be out there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then I'll leave Monday evening and head up to Ely. And then that's sort of the end of my fair time and I start
Yeah.
harvesting everything. But I do love kind of having it in that condensed window too, because I get all the
Sure.
early excitement.
You do, and yeah, you go during the busy days, don't you?
Mhm.
Tuesday and Wednesday are the quietest days, and one of my tips is always to go on a Tuesday and Wednesday, regardless of what deals you get. You're just gonna have the shorter lines. It's just not as stressful. But yeah, I would do all the things. I go throughout the whole thing. I don't go on weekends. That's kind of I believe I have weekend shifts, but I'll go work and get out. We do
Yeah.
not go as patrons during the weekend. We leave that for people who can't go during the week.
Yes, I think in the restaurant business, we would call that the amateurs.
I was going to say we call it amateur hour, but I was not going to say that.
I know, because it
But
doesn't
you
sound
did.
very nice. It
We
sounds
always
sort of
call it, nope,
elite.
that's amateur hour. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so day one,
Mm,
you're heading to the state fair, day one, and you're
hmm
there for not reporting, not work. You're just there for fun. What are like some of your top things to do that you like to do on day one?
Yeah. Such a good question. Last year was my first year as a regular folk going to the state fair on day one. And actually, Smarch and I talked about that. Like, this is just so weird. She did do her report, but it's just very strange to not have the new list and to not make sure you get everything in. I think on day one, I still do try and go for the new things that I have circled. So, the official foods and the non-official foods. If people know that there are some new foods that didn't make the official cut, but they're just as exciting, sometimes even better. And I do make sure that I hit those. And the reason that I do that is because once all of our colleagues have reviewed everything, it blows up. And so an example of that is the Amish donuts, Peaches Amish donuts. When was that? 2023, I believe,
I
was their
think so.
first year. And all of us rated it number one. So we go as a group. So I went for MSP with Steph, March, and, Minmo goes and Strip goes. And we all, including Jason Matheson, we all rated it our number one or in their top three. Well, then now the lines are an hour long. And so
I
I'm not saying we're so powerful, but if you can decide what you want to try out of the official and new foods and hit those on day one before the reporters get there and before we release our reviews, that's your only chance of really getting away from those long lines.
I
We went
have
up to the
gotten
pizza, to the pickle pizza. We were there when the first year we were there. We walked right up to the counter. And day two,
yeah,
history.
no, it's hard.
Mhm.
I have 14 new fair foods lined up for Jason to
Okay.
try on day one. And then day two, I have 14 beverage things, non-alcoholic and alcoholic things. And we try to really load them up for the first 2 days so that, he is part of that queue of
He is, yeah.
influencers, as it were, of people that,
Mhm.
and I have to say I've done a really good job of anticipating not only because I have to think
Which
about, like,
ones will
what
hit?
he's gonna like, but which ones are gonna hit.
And do you only use the official foods?
I
Official new
do,
foods?
I do,
Yeah.
and I know that there are a lot of great foods that come out that are on the new but not official
Not
food
official,
list,
yeah.
because each
Mhm.
vendor has new items that they're introducing every year, and not all of them makes them to the new list.
Exactly.
But I mean, we only have X amount of time, so I try to just load them up with as much as I can.
14
Are
is a
there
lot.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I think there were 36 new, so we're getting at
Mhm.
least a third of them in one day.
Mhm.
Are there things on the new list that you're excited to try?
Yes. I actually have it written down because there's so many of them. So I tend to know, I notice when I look at all the new foods that I liked best over the years that I go for the more refreshing things. So
Okay.
I rarely go for the heartier, heavier things, although we'll talk about that in a second. But the mango sticky rice refresher at Chan's Eatery, do you know where Chan's Eatery is?
I do.
It's in the North End, and not to be confused, there's Chan's Chicken on a Stick
Mhm.
in the South, different vendor. So they have that, I think it's, like, gonna be a drink, but it almost looks like tapioca pudding situation, but with sticky rice. Really excited about that.
Me too. It's on day
The
two's list.
It's on days 2, yes, so
Yep.
you're looking at it as a drink, yeah. The strawberry sundae tart with ube at Sarah's Tipsy's. Sarah's Tipsy's Pies is one of my I always have foods that I repeat. I try not to repeat foods because there's so many, but I have a handful that I repeat, and that's always her pies. Usually I do her lemon blueberry, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna try the strawberry tart with ube. Ube is, that's the hot thing. It's
It's
been for
very
a while.
ubiquitous in TikTok land. It's the purple, sweet potato ingredient.
Ube or pandan, which is the green,
Yes.
and then the banana butterscotch barn raiser at Farmers Union can do no wrong in my eyes. They just hit it out of the park every time. So really excited about trying that, and it's strange because these are all sweet things, which is not normally my thing, but, um, Greater Tater, which is it a new vendor this year? Or it might have been last year. They're sort of blowing up on the socials as well, and they're over by the animal barns, and I'm curious to try them too. We tried it 2 years ago. There's the really big tater tots,
The square
and
ones.
yeah, and they were delicious. Not really
And
my thing normally, but
that booth too, they have a child that has special needs,
yeah, he's
and
very popular on socials right now. He's
yeah.
adorable. I pretty much just wanna meet him, let's be real,
Yeah,
but
he's
I'll
great,
buy a
and they
potato
do a
too.
good job of employing kids with special needs, so
Mhm,
outside of the fact that the taters are good, really
mhm.
good, you have this whole heartwarming story piece that I always like.
For sure. Yeah, and then another mention I wanna say that I'm probably most excited about is the caramel apple iced tea from Loon Lake. Loon
Me
Lake
too.
has such good drinks, and again, huge line, always a huge line. You guys, it goes so fast, give it a chance. Get in the back of that line, it will surprise you how fast it goes. They're very efficient, they have 2 sides, so the caramel apple one sounds intriguing, and as
I
I'm
have
saying all
that
these, none of these are things that I would be attracted to during the year, but
Yeah, I have them on my list too, the caramel
mhm,
infused cold foam kinda
yeah.
sounded good.
I mean, any place would have me at foam. A
You do
Chan's Eatery, I love my foam. A
you
Chan's
do
Eatery,
love coffee.
yes, yes, cheers. At Chan's Eatery, they also have an iced coffee that I'm going to try that either has the ube or the pandan foam, so just make sure that I'm staying hip with the 19-year-old crowd, I'm gonna try those,
Mhm,
as
pandan
well,
foam, huh. I had
right?
pandan for the first time with my friend Heather Jans, the curry diva,
Yeah,
who
I
made
know
me a
her.
Sri Lankan curry with it in there, and, um
Really?
yeah.
I only think of it as a sweet ingredient.
No, she uses it in
Ooh.
almost everything savory.
Well, speaking of people who can do no wrong, my goodness.
Yeah, she's an amazing
Yeah.
person, and
Mhm. Yeah, so that's sort of on
okay,
the official foods, and then the not official. I'm really so a must stop for me is the Dairy Goodness building, which is not to be confused with the Dairy Barn.
help me
And
understand where Dairy Goodness is.
Dairy Goodness is in the Dairy Building. So the Dairy Building is right across from the haunted house.
Got it,
The
okay.
dairy barn is where the cows live, and it's way down over by the barn animals.
And
And
Dairy
so,
Goodness is where the butter heads are carved and you get the
correct.
milkshakes.
And you have that long winding line, and you get milkshakes, and my favorite is actually I always get the sundaes. I always get the strawberry rhubarb sundae. This year, their sundae is called Moose Soda Apple Pie Sundae.
Yum.
If it does not have cinnamon in it, I will be trying it.
Yeah,
So,
are you not a cinnamon person?
nope.
Yeah, my
It's the
producer's
only food
allergic
item I
to it.
don't. Oh, I'm not allergic. I just strongly dislike it.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
must make a pumpkin spice latte not your favorite thing.
Well,
Oh,
fall is hard on me. Listen, no
yeah.
sweets for me in the fall because they like to put that cinnamon garnish on everything. And sometimes I'll just innocently order a cappuccino and there'll be cinnamon on it. And no, dude, I know it's
Outside
October, but no.
yeah, outside of the new foods, are there some
Mm.
classics that you go back for year after year?
Yeah, always. I always have the corn. The corn roast. I've researched, Brad's stuff to death. I know where those farms are. That is just the best there is. And if
Yeah.
you're skipping on that, it's just it's a must have, must have. They cook it for an hour. It caramelizes, so it's so sweet. The key lime pie on a stick is a little known stand. Do you know where that is?
Um,
It's underneath the beginning of the Sky Ride by the
yeah,
food
yep.
building. It's sort of tucked in under there, and it's a key lime pie on a stick dipped in dark chocolate.
Okay,
Divine.
I'm
I
gonna
think it's
try that.
yeah. And I don't know that if they raised their prices this year, but year after year, it's been $5. I don't know
Okay.
what they're doing this year, but that's delicious. It's kind of one of those foods my daughter grew up on. So when she was a toddler, there'd be chocolate everywhere, and now we still get that. And then for me, the Grain Belt Blue Beer over at now it's now Prize is sponsoring
Yep.
that pavilion, and so that's at the West End. And they started out with the Blue Beer, which is a blueberry beer, and then they top it with a foam again with the foam theme, and they top it with blue foam. Well, now they have sangria beer that they can top it with. They can top it with all sorts of foam, so you can mix the flavors. I go classic blue beer, blue foam,
They have
and
that raspberry beer flavored ice cream.
the ice cream. They so this year it's double flavored, and I cannot remember what the flavor
Peach.
of it. Peach and raspberry. That was a surprising hit. We all dreaded getting that. I'll be honest. For the first year, we just were not sure what. It was delicious.
I thought so too, and I think
Yeah,
peach and you can either have peach, raspberry, or a swirl. I think that's gonna be a home run.
I think so too. It didn't taste like beer. And again, speaking of suspending my personality for 12 days, I don't think you've ever seen me have a beer other when I'm forced to when I'm reviewing. And I just love that one. It's
I
again
think I
very
did do
refreshing.
the we did the specialty beverages one year together and all the beers, and you just were not having any of it, and I was like, "Alex, this one is
Well,
good."
I was like, "It tastes like the last 30, but sure." I've ran out of words. I no longer know how to describe the taste of this beer. Combining
Yeah.
all the beverages and all the official foods was just that was brutal.
Yeah, it was a big day for everybody. Okay,
Mhm.
let's talk about some non-fair things. Like one of the things that I really encourage people to do is to go to the llama parade. It is just such a weird, kitschy, funny,
Yeah.
fun, joyful experience to see people leading around their llamas in costume. They're in costume. It's just this cute, fun, weird Americana thing that I love so much. Do you have other like activities that you do at the fair that kinda check this box?
We always watch the parade. So at 2 o'clock, there's always a parade through the fairgrounds. We sit in front of the Bailey House, which is that big, beautiful yellow country house at the south end. We always sit right in front of it in the same spot every year. I bring a blanket. We have a blanket that I only save for the fair. It's very lightweight. We just always watch that. The bands are especially a treat, and if you
Yeah.
sit in that area or in front of the admin building, you're actually sitting by by the announcer, so the marching bands really tear it up in front of the announcer because that's where the judges are. So that's
Oh,
a little
cool.
tip of that's where if you really wanna see them, display their full talents, sit in front of the admin building in the south end, and they'll really pull it out for you.
I'm trying to
What else?
think to just some other, in I
You
mean,
mean non-food activities at the fair?
well, yeah, and, like, seed art or crop art has really blown up in the last
Yeah.
couple of years. I really enjoy it, and I have seen some of the entries on Threads that, like, preview. They're
Mm,
just they blow your mind, they're so amazing.
yeah.
So that's something but also, like, don't overlook, like, just going through, like, the vegetable buildings and
Mhm.
seeing,
The
like, the
giant
big
pumpkins.
pumpkins and the
Mhm.
beautiful tomatoes. They're just, like, these weird little moments of joy
Right,
of just seeing some of the cool stuff that people make. When I go into the 4-H building where they do their performances, the kids have
right.
plays. That's
Yes.
really fun.
And it's a really nice place to rest. They have nice bathrooms there. They have
Mhm.
nice stadium seating, and yeah, you're supporting these kids who have planned on this all year. It's in the robotics competitions are in the education building. That's what we always go through the education building. I would say we go through every building, but probably my favorite is International Bazaar.
Yeah. What
And
do you like there?
admittedly, I just weave. I do all the weaves. I'm not wearing it right now, but I get a bracelet from a specific place that's kitty corner from Holy Land. I get one every year from there, and I've seen it all 1,000 times, and somehow I just still love it. My daughter used to get the little stuffed animals that have the little beads in them, so she's got a collection of it's a snake and a dragon, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, it becomes really nostalgic after you go for a while. This is maybe food related, but I really want to encourage people to visit one of the dining halls or the Midway Men's Club. It is food, but we used to have 90 some church halls at the state fair started in the 1800s. Of course, that's all there was, but now there's only two left. There's Salem and
Salem
Hamlin
and Hamlin. Mhm.
and, Hamlin has been there since 1852 or 1508 or something like that, and so, go sit in there for a minute. It's so lovely to see all the
Get an egg
volunteers that
coffee.
work there. Get an egg coffee at Salem, get whatever at Hamlin, it's all good, and just take that moment and sit down at Hamlin. They have the red and white picnic tablecloths, and you share a table with people, and they will often you turn to them, and they will tell you how it's a great-grandfather, grandfather, daughter, kids, and they will tell you, "I've been coming here since I was 8," and so it's just to really take that moment in that you're at the fair, you're experiencing something, whether it's a cup of coffee or whether it's a llama, you're experiencing it with people who have memories about it. So chatting with strangers at those community tables is just a favorite of mine. And Midway Men's Club they've been volunteering for years. Those are all volunteers. I don't know how much their burgers are, but
They're always
they
the
were
cheapest. It doesn't they maybe will
325
have
in
to
previous
raise
years.
their prices, but
Yeah,
I
I
I
mean, I
think they
I
were
think
maybe $5, but still the
maybe.
cheapest at the fair.
Yeah, and we call them pocket burgers because they wrap them up so nicely that, when we get burgers, we would get 1 and then or 2 and get 1, put in our pocket, and so apparently it's the coldest beer at the fair. Again, not a beer drinker over here, but
And the
that's what they
least
claim,
expensive.
and everything is the least expensive
Mhm.
there. And again, you're doing some good. They give all their money to activities in Ramsey County, a lot of
Yep.
kid-centered activities. They're all volunteers. So just take a minute and not go for the fancy, the colorful, the hot new thing, but remember those classics because we're gonna lose them. So, and
That's
I just really think they deserve a moment.
yeah, that's where Stephanie and I always go first thing after the radio show on Saturday morning. We
The men's
start
club?
at the Midway Men's Club. Yep, we have a
Yep.
beer, we have a burger, we thank them
Yeah.
for their service and for being
Yeah.
there, and,
They're the
the
nicest. They're just the absolute nicest people. They have those fun little bar stools you can sit on. It's yeah. I just really think it's important. If we all love the state fair and we all talk about it, but then we also complain about it, and we have to remember, to give put our money where to some of those classics as
yeah.
well.
I also wanna call out Peg Steiner or The Peg.
Yes, it's on my
Um,
list. It's on my list to mention. Yep.
it is a full-service restaurant experience,
Hmm.
and
The
same
only one
family has been running it. They have a great egg sandwich,
that
so if you wanna start your breakfast.
I have that on my list. And this year they're gonna have the dill pickle chicken tender sandwich and an English muffin.
Okay,
Hello,
you had me
right?
there, I did not know
Yep.
about this.
I wanna say I no, it's not official. It's new, but not official. It's the Mr. Peg dill pickle chicken tender sandwich and English muffin with toppings, and they're also very reasonably priced. The Peg
Mhm.
is very reasonably priced. They have the outdoor seating, and it's one of those times where when I go there, just like when I go to the dining halls, I wanna sit for a minute. I'm not in and out. I wanna take
Yeah,
it all in.
taking
It's
your
a great
time.
place to sit and people watch for a minute.
Where do you like to shop?
I don't
You
shop
mentioned the
at the fair.
bazaar. Because I really like shopping in the West
Do
End.
you?
Yeah,
Mm,
there's a lot of Minnesota makers there that I'm excited about.
yeah. You're a bigger
I
shopper than I am. I'm not a very good shopper. I'm a pretty impatient shopper. I look at it and, I Like You. I go to the I Like You store,
Yeah, that's a
and
great
I
one. They have
usually
good T-shirts.
Sarah's stuff is amazing. I have several of her T-shirts. I have her hat. I don't know if we're supposed to swear on this show,
You
but it says
can.
that okay, so it's a shit show on the hat, and I like getting the attention from that. People cover their children's eyes.
Yeah.
But, so I like that. I do get something from her most years, but I put my money on food. I'll just be
Yeah.
honest about that. Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, Alex,
Mm.
I wanna know where your secret bathroom is, because I feel like everybody has a secret bathroom. Maybe it's
Yes.
one that's not as well traveled as the others.
Mhm. Mhm. So there are good bathrooms in every quadrant. So I don't know if people know this, but the fair is divided into quadrant. They call it quadrant on the inside. And you'll notice that the benches that you can buy and name after someone, those are all different colors. Those are your quadrants.
Okay, I did not know
So
that. Good tip.
yeah, so in front of, for example, in front of ballpark, they're all yellow. And so if people the bench that we purchased is for our friend Hansi, who you know, who
Mhm.
passed away in 2017, and his bench is in front of ballpark. So you sort of dedicate it to someone and put it in front of their favorite place. I digress. Those are quadrants, and every quadrant has a good bathroom. You just have to sort of know where. The best ones, honestly, they're not so hidden, but the very end of West End has the big so anytime you see a red brick building bathroom, they will also have water stations at either end of it. So bring your refillable water bottle. That's where you can refill water
That's a good tip.
as well as other places throughout the fair, but you just always look for the red brick building. Those are somehow always clean,
Mhm.
always. In the grandstand, there are tucked away bathrooms that almost I don't think I've ever seen a line there, and they're also spotless. There's one on either end of the grandstand. They're inside, so you sort of have to know where you're
And
going.
they're kinda smaller, but they are nice.
Yeah, they're not tiny. There's one that's bigger than the other,
Mhm.
but yeah, they're always spotless. The cleaning crew there just does a great job. Um, over in the north end, I would say is your most challenging because that's where the food building is. I'm sorry, the south end. That's where the food building is, and so that gets to be a little bit busier traction there. But,
I'm
yeah,
loath to give up my secret spot, but I'm going to for you friends of the pod, and it
okay.
is behind the giant slide. There is a bank of bathrooms back there that are clean, nice. They're right behind our Fox 9 booth, and a lot of TV station people know to go to those bathrooms. So those are good
So
ones
you
if you're
you ru
looking.
you ruin it now, but that's one of my shortcuts. So one of the advantages of going so many times is people like going with me, not because I'm such great company, but because I lead them through people, that it gets so congested in front of the grandstand, and there's different places where it pinches, and I know all the hidden shortcuts, and I will not be giving them away, but that's one of them. Right
It
by those
is.
bathrooms, that's one of those shortcuts. Yep.
There's another shortcut under the glider, kind of by the it's a back shortcut
Are you
where
gonna tell
you
my shortcut? Do not. Wait, stop talking. Which don't. That's my
I'm just
shortcut.
gonna say it's a shortcut
No.
that takes you from the Coliseum up to the north.
Oh, I don't think yes,
I won't
Steph, we should have talked
I'm
about
just
this
gonna
ahead of time.
say,
And you know
Alex,
what? One year they put a fence up there, and I saw the fence when I was heading towards it, and I thought they were gonna cut us off, but they didn't. There's still an opening there.
yeah, it's just smaller.
It's a smaller
It's a
fence.
handy one because the My Talk 107 booth is up in that area, and it's a handy quick to get up there. All
Yeah,
right,
and
well,
the best
Alex,
entrance, can we say the best entrance? The best
please.
entrance with no lines is right behind the My Talk. Harder to get to because there's no parking by it, but if you're willing to walk a little bit, there's never a line at that entrance. It's a secret little vendor entrance.
Okay, I didn't know about that one.
Oh, it's right behind your booth.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So a secret entrance there. We always end up coming in um where you come in where you rent the scooters and that area
At
because
the
we get
north end?
dropped off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a hike from there, but if you didn't wanna walk through the crowds, if it was really crowded, especially for you guys on a Saturday morning, you don't go into the fair. You walk around on the outside of the fair, and it will lead you to that secret.
Okay.
I'm j
Do you
we're just gonna
have
have people wandering aimlessly now because of what I've just said. Ignore what I just said. Don't do that.
No, do it, do it. Do you have,
Hundreds of people lost.
yeah, I was gonna ask you one more question and I just totally can't. Oh, do you have a park and ride location that you think is good?
No, I have a little bit of a beef with Park and Ride, honestly. I know it's a great program. I know they're doing their best, but I believe this year they took away the suburban ones. Don't quote me on that, but I did not see them on the list. So the west suburbs used to only have one right by Ridgedale, and there were be lines across the highway. So it's across the highway from Trader Joe's. There would literally be
Mhm.
lines across the highway. And so there just were not enough in the suburbs. So I think what they're trying to get us to do, again, I'm not an official representative, but I think what
Sure.
they're trying to get you to do is to drive closer to the fair and then use a park and ride closer to the fair. So those buses aren't on the highway for a half an hour, which makes sense. So you want to drive into Roseville. My favorite is at New Life Presbyterian.
Okay.
It's getting more and more popular, but that's always a really good one. It's volunteers from that church. It's where Millie went to nursery school. And
Okay.
so that's our soft spot in our hearts.
Okay, well, I'll send people there then on behalf of you and Millie.
No, don't.
Alex
Great.
said to come
Sorry,
here.
peeps. I mean, you have a lot of listeners to this show. I'm not used to
You're
having
funny.
such an amplifier.
Okay, so just on a personal note, since I have you here before we wrap up, what's next for you? I miss your writing.
Thank you. Steph, I don't know. I don't know. I've been in conversations with a few people. If you had asked me this a year ago, I would have said, absolutely not. I am retired. I'm living my best life. I'm going to sort of pull a Steph Hansen this winter and be gone most of the winter.
Mhm.
But I miss it.
Well, and you can do
Never
remote
thought I'd
work.
say that. What's that?
Yeah. It's when you can retire and choose your own life, it
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you might not choose your old life. It just means
Oh,
that
listen to
maybe,
you. Deep
yeah,
thoughts with Steph Hansen.
well, because I think people
It's
think
true.
you have to like do something completely different, but you
Yeah,
gravitated to what you wanted to do for a reason. And
true.
what you get the flexibility and the privilege to do is to make it in the image of what you would like because you have the flexibility to say no.
Right. And I'll say this to be clear, when I say retired, I retired from a very part-time job. So I've always had that privilege. I've been
Yeah.
extremely fortunate to have created exactly the career I wanted and to be able to do exactly what I wanted. So, and to work with, I'm really, really mean this, the best people, right? You and I know that we worked with
Yeah.
the best people. Our community is tiny in the Twin Cities. There's maybe 10 of us that do this. And I love every single one of these people that I've worked with. And so going back to that is not going to be it's because it's something that I enjoyed all along. I did not leave it because I wasn't enjoying it
Yeah.
anymore. I'd left it because of, as you know, some life changes. So things are settling down and we'll see. We'll see. You and I will talk.
Yeah. Please
We'll go
keep
have
me in the loop.
a non beer. I'll have coffee,
Yeah.
you'll have a beer and we'll figure it out.
Maybe we'll see each other at the fair this year.
Possibly. I don't work on Saturday, but I might just pop in just to wave at you.
Okay.
I love doing that. I love harassing people from the bleachers.
Yes, we will be live at Weekly Dish. I will be at
9
Fox.
a.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Saturday, 9 to 11 at
The
Weekly
first
Dish up
Saturday.
in the
There's two
North End.
Saturdays. So
The
you're there the
first.
first Saturday, right? Yep.
And then I'll be at Fox Thursday and Friday. We have 2-hour shows. The first hour is
What
our
time?
national show. Our second hour is our local show. It'll be 10 to noon. And
Okay.
then at noon to 12:30, I'll be doing a book signing at Fox on both
Goodness.
days. And then Saturday, I'll do a book signing after Weekly Dish ends at 11 for a half hour. And then Monday, I'll be back and I'll be on Fox in the 10 o'clock hour. And then in the 11 o'clock hour, I'm co hosting with Jason for that day. And
Oh,
then I'll do a
fun.
book signing after that. So, yeah, lots of fun
Okay.
activities planned.
All right. I'll have you text me that because I am not going to remember anything you just said. But
I
I'll
will
have you
text
text
you.
me thank you, and I will pop
Okay.
in. I know the
Thanks,
secret
Alex.
door.
Yeah. And I forgot to tell you this when we started. Give yourself about 20 seconds before you log off, just to make sure that the podcast catches up with our voices.
So I'm not just
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Peace
Okay.
out.
All right. See you.
All right. Talk to you later.